Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Tuesday, February 28th. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Thank you for spending a little bit of your morning here with us. Coming up on today's show, we hear from Chris Yow and Mo Patton, the two fellas that are Main Street Sports today. They were there for the press conference following the announcement of the retirement of the Predators general manager. They will have the information that came from the press conference just a little bit later. Also today, we introduce you to Bob's Steak and Chop House in Nashville, Tennessee. It's said to be one of the best steak houses out there in our area right now. We get to hear from the executive chef this morning. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say. And then we sit back down with our leadership and sales coach, Derek Eurales. He talks to us about how we can say no without feeling bad about it. I don't know about you, but it is so hard for those two letters to come out of my mouth. No, it's challenging, but he helps us overcome that. Let's take a look at our headlines. The VA is looking to hire the best of the best, according to Deputy VA Secretary Donald Remy. 8 hiring fairs are being conducted around the country. Now, at the recent Nashville event, the VA is trying to hire over 200 people. Now, as part of the hiring campaign from the Department of Veterans Affairs, Deputy VA Secretary Remy visited the VA's Nashville regional office and the Alvin C. York VA Medical Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Read more on the visit and how you can find open positions by going to murfreesboropost.com. The International Travelers Project is giving students at Fairview Elementary School a chance to travel the world. And get this, the students don't need to pack a thing. Each semester, students get the opportunity to learn about a new country and create a project showcasing their research. So this year, their travels take them to Uganda. Learn more about the Travelers Project and what Fairview Elementary is doing by going to mainstreetfairview.com. Love it. Okay, so this is Richard Rainey. Rainey completed the White House Public Library's 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. Get this, he's four years old, and he finished reading his 1,000 books. Rainey received a certificate of completion, a tote bag, a children's book, and a Cafe 31 gift card for his hard work. 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is a free program that promotes early literacy by challenging children to read or listen to 1,000 books before starting kindergarten. Way to go. That's amazing. All right, we are going to send it over to Chris and Mo from Main Street Sports today. They're going to give us the details that came out of the press conference from yesterday morning after the announcement of the retirement of the Predators general manager.
David Poile has announced he will step down in June following this season in the National Hockey League as the general manager of the Nashville Predators. Predators had his retirement ceremony this morning on Monday at around 11 o'clock. And during that ceremony also announced that former Preds head coach and 2018 Stanley Cup winner, Barry Trotz, as the head coach of the New York, not the Islanders, the Capitals.
Caps.
He took the Caps to a Stanley Cup a few years back and
won a Stanley Cup and left.
It's certainly
it's one way to
decision.
Go out. It's certainly a decision. It is indeed a decision.
But Trotz will take over for the outgoing Poile. A fantastic event this morning. Everybody.
It really was cool to be around for that because, we don't often get to see. First of all, we don't cover the Preds a whole lot, really. But to actually be on hand for that. And, we have at times given David Poile a hard time on this show.
Sure.
But when you look at when you take the long view,
the totality,
thank you. When you take the long view of what he's done from the moment he set foot in Nashville to this point, I mean, you can't be anything but impressed, and you can't be anything but complimentary of what he's done here. he credited so many other people for the creation of Smashville, and he was as big a part of it as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he is the guy who went out and got the players that created Smashville. I mean, you go back to that Shea Weber trade for PK Subban. I mean, and it was a blockbuster trade. A lot of folks were very, very angry with David Poile, but I'd say it worked out really well because obviously the 2017 run, the President's Cup in 18, what a run that was for this organization. And while he didn't bring a Stanley Cup to Nashville, he certainly made hockey a household name.
He made hockey a relevant sport in a city where you really had to fight to do it.
And he fought for a long time.
Yeah, because, I mean, to say that Nashville is a non-traditional hockey market is a bit of an understatement, probably.
Yeah, probably understatement of the year.
Yeah, but it certainly has caught on. Obviously those of us who were around for that Stanley Cup run, it was just electric around here. It's kind of unfortunate that window closed up without being able to make another run at it. But, this city, this area really responded and embraced that opportunity. And I think that's what makes it so hard that they haven't gotten back to that level. And again, as we talk so often on this show, when you create the monster, you got to feed it.
Well,
and once you put Stanley Cup or bust around yourself as a franchise, then you got to get there.
And what was so frustrating was being the 8th seed, going to the Cup, winning the President's Trophy the very next year as the best team in the
league.
NHL, and then losing in the first round of the playoffs to Winnipeg, and not winning a single home playoff game in that series against Winnipeg. It was frustrating for a lot of folks because I was out here. I was on Broadway, Game 6 against in the Stanley Cup, and I can remember just that buzz. Of course, it was in the middle of Fanfare or CMA Fest, so that was on top of everything else. But it was an incredible. I mean, there were signs. My favorite sign, I'll never forget. It was outside of Doc Holliday's on 2nd Avenue. It said, "Jesus saves, but not like Pekka." And I promise you, I was like, that is phenomenal. Like I was like, that's the kind of thing that you love about what Nashville style hockey was. It's not the traditional, it's not the Habs style where it's we're a professional organization and we're going to do it, the Nick Saban way.
There was nothing professional about this.
We are the complete opposite.
It was party hockey. It was in your face hockey. It was trash talking hockey, and
I'll be interested to see what kind of hockey Barry Trotz brings to Smashville, if that Smashville era is going to continue or if he's going to go in a different direction.
Well, I mean, I think, as everybody in this town is so fond of saying, nobody throws a party like Nashville. No. I mean, I don't think there's any way to get around, if they do manage to get back, what it's going to be like.
I'm looking forward to the next several years and Barry Trotz. I think it's going to be an interesting set of years because he's going to be rebuilding this franchise, and that's
and this weekend kind of hastened that rebuild a little bit, I think.
Chris, Mo, thank you both so much. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We get a look at Bob's Steak and Chop House when we come back.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. Do you know where you are right now?
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. This morning, we get a nice introduction to Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Hotel in Nashville. Devon O'Day and John Dwyer sat down with the executive chef, Mark Grasso. Here's more from their interview.
One of the best restaurants, not only regionally, but in not the United States, the world. And we have a guy right behind it, and we have great examples of some great food, Devon.
We sure do. Mark Grasso is our chef today from Bob's Steakhouse, literally a crown jewel of steakhouses. And it's just amazing. People, when they talk about going to a great meal, 9 times out of 10, the guy in the house says, let's go to a place with a great steak. That signifies a great meal to most people in our country right now.
Yes,
So
definitely.
let's talk a little bit about why is Bob's Steakhouse so different? You do meat differently.
Sure, we do. So Bob's, we have a great commitment, and a very strong value is our excellence in products. So we buy all USDA prime beef. We're one of the only steakhouses in the United States that use a complete line of prime beef. So prime beef is actually the top 2% of beef in the world. It is very limited. It's not something that everybody has the chance to experience. And we like to do that and bring that to our guests on a daily basis. So at Bob's, one of the things we do, we have a signature dish in front of you called our Côte de Boeuf, which is a prime ribeye. It's an excellent example of what you're looking for. So in American beef, when you get ranked as prime, it's all down to the marbleization. That marbleization of fat is actually what helps things be tender and full of flavor. It's not actually the juices in the meat, it's the fat in the meat that brings the flavor. And so we tell everybody, Paula Deen was famous for it. Let's add butter, a little bit more butter, a little bit more fat equals flavor. And that's really where we set ourselves different from everybody else, is just our commitment to what we have and the quality of product that we have. We use Veloso salmon, which is a salmon raised with no antibiotics and natural, no extra feed added to it. It is an all-natural product. We use Western Australian lobster tail because of its cold water. It's really great ratio of meat to shell, where you're getting an excellent experience. And we really want to take all of the senses at Bob's and take them across your dining experience. And so, we have a great wine list. We have the attention to detail and service. And then when you represent it with a great product, it just really kind of rounds out the event and makes a memorable experience for whether it's a date night or you're just going to a Preds game.
I think a lot of people want to know, and you have loyal customers, they want consistency. And I think they know that when they get there, from the moment you walk in the door, the top of the line service to all the way through the dining experience is there's no weak link.
Yeah, well, I would really appreciate that, and that's something we strive for. I think in these times in America when, you're a little bit of a different economic situation, consistency and value, it goes a long way. And, we at Bob's have been very consistent in what we've been doing from our, creation in the early 90s to now the 2023, and that 30 years of breadth of experience has come from staying true to those key values. So like in front of you, you see a beef carpaccio, and we're using our prime tenderloin that we slice down. We have a wonderful black truffle infused oil with it. We have a Florida cell. So, we're trying to use and highlight some of the best product that we can find for you and keep it consistent across the brand.
Do you do some local foods? We have so many great local farms here.
Of course, we do. When we can source anything from the local area, we do. And we have a wonderful culture of growers and providers of unique product throughout the Tennessee and the Cumberland Valley. We use them in every way that we can. So whether it's the potatoes that are grown, or if it's the microgreens that we put on top of something, down to the asparagus. We use a local company for ice cream. It's all made from local dairy. So we try to really bring and foster a great relationship between both sides of the community, the people that are eating as well as the people that are providing the material itself.
The most difficult thing when you go to Bob's is keeping room for dessert. It's such a struggle because you want to eat all the things before, and I want the Caesars. I try not to fill up.
Especially when the carrot cake is the size of your head.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my Lord. This is my favorite, by the way. This is not even a fair right now. Okay.
You're not getting that back, by the way,
not
Mark.
a problem.
No, not a problem. Pull back a bloody stump.
Just letting you know.
Not a problem whatsoever. We are a Texas-based company. We were created in Texas, and we like to pride ourselves on Texas-sized portions. But remember, you can always share. That cake doesn't have to be just for you, but it is important to remember.
Whatever.
I'm not sharing. He knows better.
No idea.
It's very important.
What's this?
So this is
the ice cream.
our bread pudding. So bread pudding, a traditional British dessert made with custard and bread. And so we use our leftover bread.
Did you say British?
British, yes. Mm-hmm.
See, I always think New Orleans, but
Well, that's where the influence came to the United States. So you had the Spanish-American War. You had a lot of influence between Spain and Britain fighting over New Orleans and who got to control that area. You had the French.
Thank the Lord the British didn't win. The food would be awful. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But it's one of
there went our British sponsors.
But it's one of those things that, what we took our little twist on it. So what we do is we make a Grand Marnier caramel that sits on top. So it's almost like a combination between a flan, a custard, and a cake. And it's a very unique dessert that we do here. And we have it topped with our local Mike's ice cream, which is our vanilla bean ice cream made with Madagascar vanilla bean. And like I said, local dairy. Mm-hmm. And we're really just trying to do the best that we possibly can, and make it as true and as unique as we can in those parameters.
And I'm just going to say that the Jolly Green Giant grew the carrots because they're like the biggest carrots I've ever seen in my life. It's amazing. Bob's Steakhouse it's a treasure. It really is. And thank you.
I look forward to visiting the Steakhouse sometime in the very near future. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. When we come back, we get some tips on how to say no if something doesn't fit our schedule. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We are talking about how to say no today. To talk to us and help us on that particular topic, we have back with us Mr. Derek Eurales Jr. with Southwest Consulting, a leadership coach, a sales coach. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay, so let's talk about saying no. Those with busy schedules, and even maybe those who may not have the busiest schedule, but they may not want to commit. What's that first step in being like, you know what? No.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great question. So I'll start by just saying no is a complete sentence.
Okay.
It is. no, period. Complete sentence. Little joke. You didn't laugh. It's okay. No, it's too late now. No, it's too late. No, too late. Nope, you didn't laugh. But in all seriousness, though, no. And how a lot of us can say no without feeling bad is by our schedules. So when you have a schedule that has your time blocked at every possible point in your day, then you can say no because it's not me, it's my schedule. And then you can blame it on the schedule. I don't have to feel bad because there's other priorities that I've put in place. So the folks who are saying, hey, Stefanie, can you do this thing for me? Then you can just say, oh, wait a minute, let me check my schedule. Yeah, let me see how I can do it for you. Today's not good, but let me look. Tomorrow, nope, tomorrow's not good. Let's see, next week I might have an availability to talk through that. That way, everybody that you talk with and who cares about you, who you care about, you can help them to see that you do care. It's just that you can't do it for them right now. And there's something about scheduling and putting our schedule in place that tends to make those fires put themselves out. Because we all deal with fires.
True.
We deal with stuff that comes up. You know, we have a plan, we make it, we set it out, we do our daily tasks and say, okay, what do I have today? We're checking all of the stuff. And then the phone rings or we get a text and somebody's like, hey, I want you to do this thing for me. Can we meet today? It's like, come on now, we're in the world of scheduling and having time for ourselves. When is anyone available to do something today? So when you schedule your time and you put things in place that hey, this is what I got to do today, tomorrow, the next day, typically your week is already scheduled by Sunday night. You already know what you got to do during the week. But when you schedule it, when you put it on a mapped out thing, some people go by their calendars, right? Others go by these little apps. I showed you my schedule.
I'm looking at it right
Mine
here.
is color coded, and that thing is crazy. Do not try to follow a schedule like this, or you might hurt yourself. But the point is, when you schedule your day, you don't have to worry about people being upset with you because it's not me, it's my schedule.
When you talk to people about scheduling and for scheduling yourself, do you find like a sense of calm when you can look at your schedule? Nothing is going to be a surprise. What is that feeling like?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Because I don't know that feeling.
Yeah, no, it just, and you know what, Stefanie, you can do this. It all depends on who you are and how best you work with the schedule. You may not be able to work with this color-coded thing, right? But you can do something. And the answer is always when someone asks you, can I do something? It's not, sure. No, learn to say, let me check my schedule. And if it's free on the schedule, then certainly we can put it in there. Let me check my schedule. Hey, Stefanie, can you do this thing? Let me check my schedule. And that way you don't have to feel bad when you tell them no.
How quickly, as a leadership coach, sales coach, how quickly do you need to get back with someone?
Typically within a day. Typically within a day. I try to get back with people within half a day, at least to tell them, hey, I got your message. I'll get back with you on it. But typically a day, a business day is fine. Yeah.
Whether it be a meeting or maybe a date, we've all double booked at some point in time. How do you handle double booking?
Yeah, honesty. It's honesty. It's not, well, something came up. No, nothing didn't come up. You just made a mistake and you double booked. So it's like, hey, listen, this is what happened. I double booked myself for this time. Is there any way that we could talk another time? Or, hey, I got some time right now. I double booked us. You want to talk now? That way it lets them know that, yes, they're important to you. And you've even made a space in your time for them.
Last question. What happens, say you schedule something and it either slips you, though, I mean, maybe we are not as detailed as you are, but we're getting
sure.
on that scheduling train.
Yeah.
But say you missed your scheduled meeting. How do you handle that follow-up?
Yeah. Honesty. Again.
Still again. That's
Honesty.
policy.
It's like, hey, man, you know what? It happened. I totally intended to be with you. Let me explain. And then just explain what the situation is. It's relationship building. It's building and establishing and maintaining rapport. If you're in business or you're in anything, public service, civic organizations, it's honesty. You help people to understand who you are, that even though you're awesome and everything, you're still a person.
Right.
And things happen, mistakes happen. But when you clean it up and say, hey, this is what happened, let me explain, and this is what I'm going to do to rectify the situation. So explain the situation, be honest about it, explain how you're going to rectify it, and then rectify it, make it right, and help them feel that you do matter to me, if you will. So, yeah.
Thank you for those tips. Again, just simple tips. I know many of us either, looking for job opportunities, or you have a lot of meetings in your day with the job that you have. You have students out there looking to, finding jobs and scheduling appointments. So thank you for that. Hopefully you guys took something away from this. Mr. Eurales, how can we connect with you regularly? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me out on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, other places. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. And then I know you have my website, or
we do. Yes. And that will be,
you can just put the link there as well.
We most definitely will do that. Derek, thank you. The next time we sit down, we're going to be talking about time management. That'll be coming up in a week. So you'll want to be back here next week for that. Stick with us. We have more coming up on Mornings on Main Street after this.
All right.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Welcome back. Again, let me say thank you for spending some of your morning here with us. Keep sending in your birthdays and anniversaries to us here at Mornings on Main Street. Just send it to smiller@mainstreetmediatn.com so we can give you a shout out on your special day. Looking at our national days today, it is World Spay Day today for the 28th. What does this mean? It brings awareness and the importance to spaying and neutering your pets. By spaying and neutering, you're helping to keep a number of pets, unwanted pets, off the streets. Well, again, thanks for being here. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.